Hey, it's Gothy. I haven't brushed my hair yet. I will soon. I have to leave the house. So, yeah. Today is shaping up to be one of those fucking days. I stayed up because I wasn't tired, and there's no point in me going to bed if I'm still like wide awake. So I was up until 5:30ish, 6ish. Went to bed. Felt sort of tired. Not. I should have just stayed up in hindsight because I haven't slept. And I'm just now starting to feel the fatigue and stuff, which is great because I have to go to the job network this afternoon because they moved my appointment from 11:30 to 2:30. Um, they did so last minute as well, which is annoying. And I mean, I've already yelled at several things this morning or today, and it's just going to be one of those days. I can tell. I have to leave the house. I have to deal with public transport. I have to deal with people. I have to deal with the job network in particular. And then I'm going to be stuck at Mount Druitt for like 2 hours because there are no wheelchair accessible buses that come out to where I live between the hours of 2 and 5 p.m. So my options are to hang around Mount Druitt until there's wheelchair accessible buses again, or take one of the buses that come somewhat close to where I live and then just wheel the extra way. But with how tired I am right now, I'm not gonna risk it. So yeah, that's gonna be fun. I had to deal with people and Mount Druitt and people, and like I have to have a go. Not have a go as such, but I need to have a good talking to my job network consultant anyway, because we're supposed to have phone appointments every second week. I'm gonna get some stitching done. I've finished some more Bowie. Two more to do. I've decided not to do the guitar that sits here, and I'm just going to move the text over a little bit so that it's a bit more centered. But yeah, I don't want to do the guitar. Um, yeah, so every second week, I'm supposed to have phone appointments because I'm in Australia. If you're on Centrelink, you got to see a job network. If you're getting Centrelink benefits. Unless you're on a student benefit, that's slightly different, but that's also a lot less money. I mean, not that it's much money to begin with, but anyway. Yeah. So, where am I? So, just working that out. Alright. So, the two sort of main streams of um, settling benefits where you have to see a job network is Newstart. Um, there's also there's youth allowance as well, which they have to sometimes see a job network as well, but it's mostly Newstart and the disability support pension. Now I'm on Newstart because I was knocked back for the disability support pension for not being disabled enough. They have a table, and if your disability is not being treated, curable in the next 2 years, or stable, you don't have enough impairment points to count as disabled enough for disability support pension. So because there's no cure or treatments or anything like that for my knee conditions, I'm not counted as disabled enough. So I'm just on Newstart, which is what they give people who are unemployed who are 21 and over. Um, it's not a lot of money. I am grateful for it because it means that I can, pay rent and stuff. I would just love a break from the fucking job networks because it's just, it doesn't matter where you go, it's just fucking pointless. It's a waste of time, and it just adds so much more stress. And considering I deal with enough stress and stuff like that as it is, I don't need it. I really don't need it. But yeah, so we have to go to the job networks, and the job networks, they're supposed to help you find work. That means advocating for you. That means contacting employers. They get they often have contact with employers and stuff that hire specifically through the job networks and stuff, especially for the disability ones. So they're supposed to help you find a job. Yeah. Anyone who has ever had to deal with a job network, however, knows that's not ever the fucking case. I've been unemployed now for 8 years, give or take. Not consistently, not the entire 8 years. I've had a few months work here and there kind of thing. But more or less, 8 years. In 8 years, I've been to so many different job networks. I've been to non-disability job networks. I've been to disability job networks. And the one that I'm currently at is a mixed one. And you know how many jobs that I've been put for? I don't know how many jobs I've actually been put forward for by a job network consultant. But the amount of interviews I've had in 8 years, sourced by a job network, 0. 0 in 8 years. Now, that is with about 6 years of retail experience and customer service experience. That's with my skill set in photography. That's with a diploma in library services, a Cert 4 in youth work, and a Cert 4 in web and graphic design. That's with managerial experience because I've managed a store. That's with the willingness to take on anything that isn't childcare or aged care. And I still have no job, which is frustrating. Understandably so. But what's even more frustrating is when I go into the job network, they make me feel like I'm not doing enough. It's always my own fault that I'm not employed yet. It's got nothing to do with anyone else. It's not the employer for not employing me. It's my fault. So I'm not doing enough. I'm being too picky. I'm... whatever. It's always my fault. Now, what's really getting frustrating is that I finally... this consultant that I've got now, I was liking, she seemed alright. And she's still, as a person, she's fine. It's just, as someone who's supposed to be helping me find work, I'm losing what little hope I had. Because, I don't hold my breath for this shit anymore. I really don't. I don't think I'm going to get a job anytime soon. Straight up. This is not going to happen. If it hasn't happened in 8 years, then it's not going to happen now. If it didn't happen when I was still able-bodied, not pierced, not tattooed, with normal hair, then it's not going to fucking happen now that I'm in a wheelchair, or that I use a wheelchair, that I'm tattooed, that I have weird hair. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if I cover them, doesn't matter if I wear a wig. It's the wheelchair that's going to stop it. It's going to be the biggest fucking barrier. Which fucking sucks. It does. But, yeah, I'm not holding my breath for a job anymore. Hell, end of last year I volunteered. I offered to volunteer for some stuff, and they never got back to me because I told them I was in a wheelchair, and, asked about access, and then I just never heard back from them. So I can't even volunteer. I can't even give shit away at this point. But because I'm on New Start, I'm supposed to be... technically, by now, I'm supposed to be doing work for the dole, but because I've studied a few times, I've skipped that, which is good. Because the last time I did work for the dole, they put me in landscaping. Me, with bad knees, in landscaping. Thankfully, it was a fucking bludge, because there was nothing for us to actually do except for mow the lawns every 2 weeks. So, yeah, it was a complete waste of time. And, like, utterly complete waste of time. Because it's not like we were landscaping for different sites or anything like that. We were a landscaping team for one site. One place. Like, the fuck. It's a fucking waste. But, yeah, technically I'm supposed to be doing that, because you gotta do an activity for phase, uh, after you've been unemployed for 6 months. Now that's either you study or you do work for the dole. And they've changed it now so that you're pretty much doing work for the dole the entire time. Which really sucks. Because one of my friends is going to do it, and yeah. But not only that, you're supposed to go into their office and do job searching for a couple of hours, a couple of days a week. I don't have to do that, because I've straight up said, if you make me do that, I'm just going to sit here and read a book, because I have paranoia issues when it comes to using public computers, with people walking behind me, with people looking at my screens, whether they're not, well, even if they're not actually looking at my screens, I get paranoid about it, and I freak out, and that is not a situation you want me to be in. Like, straight up, I'm not even going to sugarcoat it. It's going to set me off. It's going to trigger me. Plus, just having to deal with fucking slow-ass internet, having to log in and stuff. And besides that, all of my job search links and stuff like that are here at home on my computer. So, I'm not going to go onto someone else's computer and try and do the same thing that I can do here in comfort with music and not being, triggered. So, I don't have to do that. But I am supposed to go in and see them once a week. It's fucking useless. It's pointless. There's nothing, I don't gain anything from going in there once a week, except I lose money in transport. Yeah. But that's what I've got to do. So, my consultant, tried to do right by me, and she goes, look, we'll do phone appointments on 1 week, and you can come in on the off week. Alright, cool, we can do that. I can email you. Because the other thing I've got to do is I've got to keep track of any job I apply for, fill it into this form, and hand it in. And I'm supposed to be doing, what am I on? I'm on, 14 jobs a fortnight or something, or 12 jobs a fortnight. There's not fucking 12 jobs to apply for, I can fucking tell you now. I'm lucky if I get 4 a week. It's fucked. But I've got to give her those. And she's supposed to chase them up and try and, advocate for me, and it never fucking goes anywhere. So, again, I don't hold my breath. But she's supposed to be doing phone appointments with me. That's what we agreed on. Have they happened? Not once. We were supposed to have 2 phone appointments last week. I didn't get any, so on Thursday I just emailed her the list of the jobs that I'd applied for. And she emailed back saying she'd contact them, and that was that. That was it. Yeah. So come to today's appointment, I get no notification about it at all. No letter, no phone call, no email. And most of Monday, the Centrelink app was down, the Centrelink website was down, so I couldn't log in and see when the appointment was until late in the afternoon. So then yesterday, I get an email really close to 5 o'clock, and they close at 5 o'clock, saying they've moved my appointment to 2:30 for today. Even though I've told her that there's no buses at that time, that there's no point in me going in there at that time because I can't get home for several hours, and it's just a fucking shit go. But, yeah. And not only that, I have to now fucking sit around and wait before I can, head off. And it doesn't take me that long to get ready, because I don't dress up or anything. When you first join up with a job network, they tell you you're supposed to go in interview clothes and all that sort of shit, and you're supposed to dress up you're supposed to treat it as if it's work, basically. No one fucking does that shit. I think once I showed up in like interview attire back when I, first lost my job, and yeah, never again. Like, no one fucking does it. This is fucking stupid. There's no point. Like, you're lucky if you spend 5 minutes there in your actual appointment, which, sucks because it takes me a couple minutes to get to the bus stop. Not too bad, with the smart drive. Um, get on the bus, which is a fucking nightmare in of itself because wheelchair accessible buses. Um, get on the bus, get down there, and then wheel up to where it is. And then you sit and you wait, and then you have your appointment, and it lasts maybe 5 minutes if you're lucky. And it's usually, oh, you've been applying for jobs? Yep, here's my sheet. Okay, cool. Alright, well, our next appointment will be such and such. And that's it. Every week I'm supposed to do it. And it's a fucking waste of time. Like, yeah. And again, 8 years, not a single interview from a job network, but I have to go in every week and do this shit. Yeah, and when you're studying, the only difference to when you're studying is that you only have to go in every fortnight instead of every week. But the catch-22 with studying is that you can't study for more than 12 months in a row. Because if you study for more than 12 months in a row, you get dropped down to student benefits. Don't have to deal with the job networks necessarily, but you also earn like $200 less a fortnight. And that's Andrew.